Hey, GTX crew. Welcome to another episode of ATI with me and Patrick. This is from our investigation of the downtown Houston tunnels. We hope you guys have checked out that episode. If not, go watch that first. But if you have already watched it and you want to hear our thoughts on it, this is where we're going to be talking about that. So,
ready? Exactly.
Want to just jump straight into this, Patrick, or what do you got anything you wanted to talk about first, or?
This was actually an episode, a long time coming. We talked about doing this for a while. I'm glad we actually had a chance to go do it. We did have only one night in the place. We do want to go over some of the clips from the episode. We have one queued up at the 4:29 mark.
Okay.
Melvin, go ahead and hit that real quick because I want to talk about something that happens here.
Yeah, actually, one thing I thought about real quick. Let's preface a few things just to kind of paint a picture, right? Mm-hmm. We had special permission to be where we were. The Houston tunnels is big. It's around 6 to 7 miles of underground tunnels that intertwine and connect a lot of downtown. Mm-hmm. Some of it is commercial space, some of it's retail space, some of it's residential space. It's a mix, right? And the tunnels are only open to the public Monday through Friday, somewhere around the 6 a.m. hour, 7 a.m. hour, till around
like 4,
2
right?
to 4 o'clock. It just depends on what areas, and certain sections of it shut down earlier or later, depending on that individual building's hours, right? But no matter what, nothing is open on the weekends, and nothing is open after hours. So the area we were in, again, we had special permission. And the reason I'm mentioning this is one of the most important factors to us is noise contamination. Mm-hmm. And we got started around 11 or 11:30 p.m. and we went till around, was it maybe like 3 or 4 in the morning?
Yeah.
Something like that. So there was no one at all else around in the vicinity, anywhere near where we were. Mm-hmm. So that's kind of, I just wanted to start there so that can kind of paint a picture of what it was like for us when we went down there.
Yeah, and it's very important to know, especially going into this first clip we're going to show. It's very important to know that we were the only ones around there.
Yep. So yeah, let's go ahead and get into this clip.
That's a man. I straight up heard talking.
I'm telling you, I have thought I have been going crazy because I've heard music, like singing. I've heard a man talking and I've heard a woman.
Make note it was 11:24 p.m. It sounded like a male voice that we may have possibly heard on.
So the whole talking. And this happened as soon as we walked in and we started setting everything up. I mean, I'm sure you remember it actually took us a while to get everything set up because we were just so confused on where and why, we were hearing voices.
Yeah, we couldn't get set up quick enough.
Yeah, we really couldn't.
And it's one of those, like, when we all kind of sat down and had that realization that we all heard what we thought to be voices, but we hadn't actually talked about it yet. Mm-hmm. Because we were just trying to get set up. And this was at that first moment where we're like, yeah, did you hear that? And we're kind of coming to the realization that we were hearing voices.
Yeah. Which we can actually fast forward a little bit, go to the 6:43 mark, actually hear some of the disembodied voices and EVPs that we were catching that night. It's crazy.
Okay, so I'm starting about 6:39.
Okay. And by the way, if any of y'all can understand what is being said on that EVP, please let us know.
Absolutely. One thing I want to note is the loudest one, the first one that was kind of like a yelp.
Yeah.
There's parts in the video later when you can hear us talking, and you can hear the way that like our voices echo and reverberate. You know, it's not the pitch of any of the three of us.
Yeah.
It doesn't sound like Patrick, doesn't sound like myself, doesn't sound like Morgan. It's none of our voices, and the way that it does not carry the same sort of an echo that you can hear when we're talking later in the video. So most of the time throughout the video, we're kind of more or less whispering, but there does become a point where we get a little bit more comfortable and we're talking in a little bit more normal voice. And yeah, it just does not match up with any of our voices nor sound the same way.
Yeah.
So
You can just slide that in the unexplained folder. I mean, that's why we know, after reviewing all the stuff, we kind of figured, I guess you can say, what clips were us talking and stuff like this. It's like,
yeah, because we always want to debunk things.
yeah, always.
Yeah, and we only put in what we can't explain.
That's it. And that was one. And we can actually just go on right to the next one, because the next clip, there's a lot going on in this at the 12:50 mark.
Okay, let's start at about 12:45 just to give it a little leeway.
Okay.
Okay, so this is Morgan's doing the Estes method, which is where we do the headphones with the spirit box feeding in. Patrick and I ask questions, and then if she gets responses, she'll be verbalizing those. So that's what we're in the middle of doing right here.
Yeah, just to let everybody know, we are in an empty basement.
How many?
3 of us.
Something's tickling my head.
And it was the same voice.
I told her earlier to tickle Morgan. Maybe it tickled you instead.
I saw her doing that. It was when the cat balls were going off and you walked away.
Yeah, so what Patrick was saying a moment ago is we are in a basement that's connected to the Houston tunnels.
The Houston tunnels.
So
There's no building above us.
Well, there's a building above us, but there's nobody in the space in the building above us.
It's an empty building.
It's vacant.
We're really not below the streets. Like Melvin said, we're kind of connected to the tunnels. It's really late. The tunnels are shut down. We have exclusive access.
I mean,
What?
I mean, with me being touched on the head.
Yeah.
And you could see I was checking, because I thought maybe a spider web, mosquito, fly, something. But it's just the pattern it went touching my head. There was like 3 different spots. Still remember, creeped me out. And then getting the responses from her, and all at the same time. I mean, you saw if you watched the episode. Even here in EVPs following right after, there was just a lot going on in this section right here.
Yeah, I want to. What was the start time on that one?
So that was 12:50.
So at the very beginning of it, let me see.
Yeah, just to let everybody know, we are in an empty basement.
how many?
That right there, that's kind of like, to me, is it coincidence or was it a response to what Patrick was saying?
Yeah.
Like, we're in the basement. How many? Right? Like, I don't know. It's one of those things. It just seemed to align too perfectly.
Which we like when that happens.
It would have been nice if we could have got an answer.
True.
Beyond that, but nonetheless, it was still kind of an interesting
Absolutely.
lineup of events there.
And if you can go ahead and skip to the 1550, it's going to conclude kind of what we were talking about with everything that was going on in that little 2-minute span. So I was doing the session. A question was asked by Melvin. Go ahead and hit play.
If you can hear us and you're here with us, how many of you can see us? How many people are here with you? Just need a number.
It takes a second for us to get a response here.
Yeah, maybe even working up enough energy to
get the message through.
you can see. I don't know if I was hearing something going on in the headphones. I really don't remember, but you can tell by my body language. Maybe I heard something.
What other information can you give us? What other information can you give us?
Makes me wonder too, like earlier when we were saying how many people were in the basement, and then, this kind of follows along with that, right? How many people are down here, and then the EVP is letting us know 7.
And pretty crisp.
Yeah, it makes me wonder too if it's 7 beyond the 3 of us, so 10, or is it 3 of us and 4 more?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Love this EVP. Now we can actually go into talking about when we go and do investigations.
Oh yeah, because what we're about to go over next.
Yeah, like
Yes.
our camera equipment.
So sometimes when we do these investigations, it seems to be kind of a common theme where we have instances where we say, oh, the camera just stopped. Oh, the batteries just went dead. Oh, it just stopped working, right?
Yeah.
And if you watch all of our episodes, it might seem to be like, oh, what the heck's going on? You got bad equipment. And the answer to that is no, I don't, because outside of Ghost Texas, beyond what we're doing with Ghost Texas, this is all my personal equipment. I use this equipment for all sorts of stuff, for my personal YouTube channel, for photo shoots, for all sorts of things. I use all these cameras for when I go traveling, go on cruises and what have you. I never have these issues. I never have the issue of my equipment just shutting down and not working, or the battery going from full to 0 with no explanation. It just simply doesn't happen. It only happens when we're doing Ghost Texas investigations.
And not even all of them. I
Yeah,
mean,
it doesn't
this
happen
place
every
is-
time.
Yeah, I mean, it's wild. I mean, which this location, I mean, we did talk about a few moments ago how this place was like just, you could just feel it as soon as you walk in, the vibe. I mean, everything about it was just crazy. We knew it was going to be a wild night as soon as we walked in.
It's one of those things where it's like your sixth sense, right? Like
Yeah.
like you're the hairs on the back of your neck raise, and you have that like weird uncomfortable feeling. There's been some of the investigations that we've never even released because we didn't get anything, right? And when I went into those investigations, I didn't have any of those uncomfortable feelings. We didn't have anything weird happen. The cameras weren't malfunctioning because there was nothing there, right?
True.
So it's almost like at least I can say for me personally, like I can kind of get a feeling or a vibe the moment I enter the property or the place that we're investigating, as to whether or not we may or may not get something.
Yeah. In this place.
Yeah,
It's like
just-
we knew right away.
Yeah. It just, something felt off.
Well, and kind of going along with what we're talking about, if you actually want to jump ahead to the 1710 mark, we can kind of discuss, equipment malfunctioning or whatever you want to call it. I don't know. Being drained.
It blinked one light.
Okay, so it was you. Can you light those up again? I know I'm asking a lot, but if you can light those up, we'll focus on this is how you want to communicate, and we'll go ahead and pull Patrick back.
I think that camera just stopped or something.
That camera just shut off.
I don't know if that's a coincidence or if the battery died. Let me go check.
Okay.
Since I'm walking off, I'm taking my phone. There's not going to be anything on this anymore.
I'm like, whoa, hold up.
All right.
Whoa, what was that? Hold up.
Patrick's obviously got the blindfold, so he doesn't know that I stood up and walked away.
But I'm pretty sure I felt something going on.
Whatever's trying to communicate to Patrick, can you be a little bit more clear so he can understand you more?
And when something like that happened,
It's still got plenty of battery.
a few times that night. I
Yeah,
mean,
like things just stop working.
Yeah.
Yeah, there really is no explanation for it. Like now I'm gonna sound repetitive, but basically, like, I don't have these issues when I use my cameras for other things. It's only when we do these investigations and we start to get results, the cameras mysteriously just stop working. I mean, like, one good example was one of our visits to the prison. Was at the time
Our first time to the jail, it seemed like
was it when we took my brother with us?
that one too.
Yeah, like they just batteries went from full to empty.
Yeah.
Cameras and mics just shutting off.
Yep.
I feel like there was somewhere we were at where the camcorders just kept shutting off on us.
Bowers Mansion.
It was Bowers?
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, so it's just it's weird that that's the only times that it happens.
Just way off. I don't know. I mean, it's par for the course. It's what we do, right?
Yeah.
So there's actually during your session, if you want to skip to 925 or 1925,
Is this when I was yelling?
this is this
You
little
come
part was
close.
quite entertaining.
Yeah.
It'll light up more.
So earlier when I mentioned that we were all more or less whispering the entirety of the night, this would be that spot where things got a little bit louder, unintentionally.
Unintentionally.
You can also use, there's 2 balls over there that if you touch them,
Real quickly, I want to say, if you guys want to channel through me, you can channel through me to
Is that
talk,
this loud?
and I'll hear you in here. So y'all can communicate and answer their questions by talking through me, and I'll hear it here.
I'm not sure if you heard him,
Smart ass me.
but you can channel yourself through him
I can't.
if you'd like. You don't have to. You don't have to.
I can't with you sometimes.
So like we were just saying, I mean, we tried everything to just stay quiet, and it's not because we were scared to get caught. There was nobody to be caught by. I guess you can say. I think it was just more of a respect thing, right? It's kind of like
Yeah, it's the middle of the night.
middle of the night. We had access to this place, and just in case if some security were to walk by, we didn't want to
Explain ourselves.
exactly.
Like we weren't trying to draw unwanted attention.
That's it exactly. So there might have been a few times during the night we might have got a little loud. This being one, but for the most part, we kept it quiet. You know.
One of the other things I want to point out here, though, is this is when you can hear all of our voices at a louder or more normal tone. So that yelp, that EVP yelp, this is a good example of how our voices carry and echo,
Yeah.
and how loud they sound in comparison to the way that yelp sounded.
Yeah, definitely. So the next clip I want to talk about, go to the 2805 if you don't mind.
While
This, yeah, 2805. So this is going to be during Morgan's session when you saw the screen go black on the camera. So this place was, when we were doing this session, it was pitch black, right?
Yeah.
So the only light that we had were the screens to the cameras flipped towards us.
Yeah. So like basically, I'll give you guys an example. 1 second. Let me pick up
Okay.
a camera. So basically, all the cameras have some form of a screen on them. Some of them are on the backs of the camera like this, or flipped out to the side is how we usually have it. So we can see ourselves in the screen, and that's all the light we had in the room. So the room's basically pitch black except for this little black and white screen. Because when you're in infrared, it's black and white.
Yes.
And yeah, so what we're going to do is we're going to show you this clip. And what I'm describing in this clip is if imagine something went like this in front of this screen as it's illuminated. Patrick.
Yeah.
Are you looking at the camera back there? The back one?
No?
So I can see part of the screen.
Yeah.
Something passed in front of the screen.
Are you sure?
Yeah, it went dark. Like
They're
I can
gone. I'm not.
So right there where she says they're gone,
Yeah.
like I saw something go in front of a screen. Morgan can't hear anything we're saying.
Yep.
And then all of a sudden she just says they're gone. I think we say a little bit more after that. Let me see.
Are you sure?
Yeah, it went dark. Like
They're
I can
gone. I'm not.
Who's gone? Who's not?
The I'm not was the older woman from earlier.
I can see the top of that screen, the light on it.
Yeah.
It went dark. It like went like this. Can you see my hand? It went like this in front of the screen back there. I just thought of something right now in the moment. When she says they're gone, I'm not. Was she saying they left but the old lady stuck around? They're gone, but I'm still here kind of. They're gone, but I'm not.
I mean, think about it. Most of the responses we were getting was coming from the same woman.
Yeah,
And
like-
mind you, this woman that we kept hearing, kind of an older voice, raspy. Definitely tell it was a woman.
Yeah.
Just totally wild that all three were getting the same voice.
Yeah.
You know, so it's quite possible, Melvin. You might be right.
Was there anything after this or is that it?
So no, just the 33-minute mark.
Okay. I didn't know if I needed to let that continue playing or not.
No. That's one of the things we wanted to talk about. I mean, like we said, at the beginning of this episode, there was just a lot going on in this place all night long. This is probably one of my favorite places right now. Just
33?
Yeah, 33. This is when Morgan got touched.
Okay.
And mind you, this is in the same
yeah.
area. Yeah, the same area where you saw the light go black.
Yeah, so kind of what we did to wrap the investigation up, and then when you see the episode, you'll see, is we kind of walked the perimeter of the space, and the space being about 5,000, maybe 5,500
If not
square
more.
foot.
I started thinking about it. That place is probably double that.
I think it is bigger because I know 100% for sure that 2 floors above it, which is also vacant, is about 8,000 square feet, and they all share more or less the same footprint. So it's probably
It
damn
might be
near
close
8,000
to, yeah.
square foot. Yeah. But as we're walking, and in a moment, the clip we're about to play where Morgan starts talking, we're in the same spot where I saw something walk in front of the camera.
Yeah.
Whether or not it correlates, we don't know, but it's in that exact same area of 8,000 square foot of space. So I'm gonna let it play. We're here again where we were, since this is where we got the most activity on the spirit box.
What happened to you?
Something like,
Brushed your leg?
yeah. That was weird.
And mind you, all the places Morgan's been with us, I don't think she's ever been touched. So seeing that reaction, obviously, we trust everybody in our group. I guarantee Morgan did feel something touch her. I will put money on it. I'll put my mortgage on it.
Yeah.
And of course, being the end of the night, I mean, what else can happen, right?
Yeah. And hey, like earlier, we were just kind of diagnosing the voice saying they're gone, I'm not.
Yeah.
Who knows? I don't know. I don't really know what to think of it, but it's something we can't explain.
Yeah. I definitely want to come back to this place.
And it shouldn't be that hard. I'm sure I could make that happen again.
Okay.
And now that we've had a taste of the space and we kind of know some of the expectations, what do you guys tell us in the comments? What are some things that you think we should try here? what other potential methods, what other devices. Now, keep in mind, we don't have every device available to us.
True.
We do have somewhat of a budget when it comes to Ghost Texas, but if there's something that you think we should try to use, tell us. Actually, something we could use, Patrick, is that new touch lamp I got.
We can definitely, especially in a dark place like that.
Yeah, that would be cool. It's similar. If you've ever seen those lamps that literally all you have to do is just tap it and it'll turn on and off, I got one of those lamps for us to use on an upcoming investigation. So maybe that would be something cool, because we could completely black out that room.
Yeah.
And do that. But yeah, if you guys have suggestions of other things, because we do a lot of Estes Method and Spirit Box, but we're open to doing other things.
Absolutely.
So, cool.
Yeah.
Well, we hope you guys like this ATI, but more than anything, we hope you enjoyed the episode. And what's our upcoming episode after this one, Patrick?
Well, the one coming up after this one was actually, it was a fun one. This one is a...
contest winner, right?
We had a contest winner. So we did a contest on Facebook back in, I think it was 2019.
It was right before COVID and everything hit.
Yes, right before COVID. We were finally able to meet up with the contest winner, let them pick where they wanted to go, and they picked the jail. That place is very familiar to us. We know it like the back of our hands. So
Yeah.
we were...
It's like a second home
It is
in a
like
weird
second
way.
home. We were super excited. So we actually took her, and she brought two guests to the San Jacinto County Jail and Museum. So it was fun. That's going to be our next episode. And I will be putting a little teaser up like we always do after the ATI. So stick around, check out the teaser. So
Cool, man. We appreciate y'all's support. As you guys know, we're trying to grow this channel. We've been trying for the longest to get up to 1,000 subscribers. So if you're new here and you like our videos, please subscribe. If you've been here for a while, share this video with somebody you know. Introduce them to what we're doing, and give this video a thumbs up if you liked it. And like I said, comment below your thoughts on anything we've discussed, and if you have suggestions on what we should use the next time we visit this location, or any location for that matter.
exactly.
So yeah. All right, guys, we'll see you guys in the next video.
Later.
This is your first time doing a paranormal investigation, so are you a believer or non-believer?
I mean, I'm open to it, but like a lot of the stuff on TV, it always seems kind of cheesy.
So I would say I partially do believe in the paranormal. You know, I've seen some strange things. Some of it I can probably debunk on my own, but...
Yeah, so I'm definitely a believer of the paranormal and anything really related to it.
Creepiest was, there was a lot of...
Did y'all hear that? Did you hear that?